So I want us all to prepare, because whether we like it or not, change is here. The time for world system to change is here. The time for the way business is done to change is here. The time for even family meetings and reunion to change is also here. And so this change is going to impact different people in different ways. And that's why it's important for us to understand what is a perspective of whatever process of change or moment of never again we are going through individually before we get into the global setting. Now, let me try and give a brief understanding of what perspective is. I know we will have an understanding or our own idea of what perspective is. But I want us to look at it in this light. That your perspective is your view on a subject matter. Your view. And your view may be different from my view. Or it may be our view, which may be different from other people's view. And the dictionary says it's a mental view. So which means it is something that is happening up there in the mind or in the brain. So if perspective is a mental view or your mental view on a subject matter, then it means very much that it depends on how you think. I know over the years, I remember growing up as a young boy, when I do something wrong, the slap I will get on my back is, don't you think? And so even as a young person, parents expect their children to think out of the box. Well, that was how I was raised. To ask the question continuously, don't you think? But now, you keep asking me, don't you think? But nobody ever taught me how to think. It's just a question that was being posed. So how do I think? What does it mean to think? I was never taught. I went to school. I was not taught how to think in school. I was given things to think on. So everything that came my way growing up are things that have been dumped onto me to influence my thinking, not how to think, but what to think on. And so if my perspective depends on how I think, and how I think depends on what I have seen or what I'm seeing, what I could hear or what I've heard, what I could feel or what I'm feeling, and what I see, what I hear, and what I feel also depends on the things I have been taught. So those slaps that I get on my back, those twisting of my ear that I got, we are building in me a view, a world view, my world view. And so those were the things that have been put in me. And that is my world view. So every time I look at something, wherever I stand, whatever point I stand to look at it, I cannot look beyond my worldview until I begin to unlearn certain things that have been taught and to embrace certain things that I didn't know. And that also takes a lot of humility, particularly as adults. Adults don't easily want to accept that they don't know. Even where they don't know, they pretend they know. So it is not easy. It takes a lot of humility to accept that you don't know something and decide to learn. So then, if your perspective depends on the way you think. And you also know that your perspective of things is formed by the things you know. Growing up, being to school, working, everything shapes your view of things that you have not seen and of things that you will come to see. Like the beginning of this year, nobody saw what was going to happen this year. We knew there was problem in China. Even the best professors didn't know that it will get to this level. Yeah, there may be a series of theories that is postulated, but nobody could tell us exactly by now this is the number of people that will have lost in this country or in that country or in that place. So, but everybody was working based on their perspective, what they've learned, what they've known, and postulating a theory. What you know, it's what forms your perspective of things. Hence, the statement that I put out in the invitation says, what you don't know, you cannot understand. And what you cannot understand, you cannot handle. What you cannot handle, you will struggle to keep. What you struggle to keep, you will eventually lose. And this is where our challenges in life lies. For one reason or the other, everybody is afraid of losses. We are all afraid to lose something. It could be a loss of health, challenges with health. It could be a loss of relationship. It could be a loss of employment. It could be anything. So everybody is afraid of a loss. So, but let's try and play back, and then we'll realize why we're afraid of losses. So if I reverse the order of that statement, it will read like this. What you eventually lose is what you have been struggling to keep. What you have been struggling to keep, you have not been able to handle it. Do you agree with me? What you have not been able to handle, you did not understand. And what you did not understand, you didn't know what it was. So if we play that statement backwards, that's what it reads. It means losses is connected with knowing. I remember a story in the Bible where the people of God were in a wilderness where there was no food, there was no water. And they were crying. I said, why did you bring us here? Is it for you to kill us in this wilderness? Take us back to where we came from. And God sent flakes for them. It looks like meat, it looks like bread. So God told them, don't take much. Just take as much as you need for the moment. That was the instruction they were given. But when they got to it and they touched it, they held it and said, manna, what is this? They didn't know it. So that thing never had a name. The name it has been given since then is manna, and what it means is, what is this? Which was a question. Now, because they did not understand or know what it was, what did they do? They were given instruction, just take as much as you need per time. They took and hid it, planning for the next day. But before they wake up in the morning, it gets spoiled. So we will lose what we don't know. And that is why whatever we are engaged in, whatever we are trying to do in life, a good sense, a good knowledge of those things is paramount. You're trying to get into a relationship, into a marriage relationship, you must understand the fellow. If you don't understand who you are marrying, you don't know, and I think I will have to underscore the word know there. If you don't know the person, you cannot understand the person, and it will eventually come to a life of struggle. And this is where most of our challenges are.